How did you get into triathlon? And how long have you been doing distance races?
How did I get into triathlon? So I played, as I mentioned earlier, I played basketball from when I was like 7 till 18. And that's right when I finished high school. And in the off-season of basketball, my friend and I decided that we'd do a little extra cross-training for the upcoming season. So we wanted to do some weights training and also some running. And our team physio for our basketball team said that he'd look after us. And so we went off and, a couple of mornings a week we'd do weights with him. And then weights turned in 3 mornings a week, turned into 5 mornings a week with weights 3 days and running 2 days. And that carried on for, that off-season. Then I played that season out and I got to know him better and also got to know a couple of the athletes that he coached. And he was actually also a triathlon coach. So that opened up my eyes to the sport. I really didn't know anything about triathlon. Obviously, I'd heard of Ironman and, we'd had Welchie win a world title prior to that. So it was slightly on the radar. But, Ironman to us in Australia is surf life-saving. It's not swim, bike, run. I sort of knew about the sport, but then I was able to talk to people and other athletes that actually did race the sport and the coach, our physio, who was the coach that coached them. And randomly one day, I wasn't a great, I'm 5'3". I was never going to go play for the Australian team. And my dream was to actually go and play WNBA, but that was never going to happen. I always dreamt of being a professional athlete. And just randomly one day he asked me if I'd ever thought of doing triathlon, and I said, well, not really, but let's give it a go. He said, can you swim? And I said, yeah, I can swim. And he said, all right, well, bring your swimsuit and swim stuff tomorrow and let's have a look. So the next day I brought my 2-piece bikini. I didn't have goggles or a cap. And he said, all right. He looks at me and he's kind of rolled his eyes. And he said, okay, hop in. So I dive in, I swam 25 metres, and then I lay on the lane rope and looked up at him, and I'm like, is that enough? And he just walked away. And I was like, obviously I hopped out of the pool and was like, okay, maybe I can't swim. And he sent me off to the swim coach, and that was definitely a lot of years of trying to learn how to swim. I'm sure a lot of people in here know what that's like. It's not easy to learn how to swim, and it's one of those sports where you can't just try harder and go faster. So they're definitely very frustrating. But that's how I got into the sport to start with. And my first race was at the end of '99, and it was a really short race. It was like 300-meter swim, 10K bike, 3K run, and it was really hard. And I felt like I was going to die, like in the swim and in the bike in transition, but I ended up third, and I was just hooked. I was like, I can go faster than that. I was third overall, so I was like out of the women. So I don't know, something, the competitor inside me was born, I guess. And soon after that I was lucky. I made the Australian junior team, and then from then I was swept up into the Australian Institute of Sport Systems. So I was funded to go and travel and do some races and got a lot of experience racing internationally, and I obviously was on the track for ITU and Olympic distance then. Did that for a number of years and then started racing. I did one half Ironman, and I think in 2003. We were in Australia in our off-season. I did it, and I really enjoyed it. But I was pretty young. I was maybe 23 or 24. And, I didn't really start stepping up to half Ironman. I basically had enough of ITU racing because I'm not a great swimmer. And always struggled to make the front pack and was always chasing, and really got frustrated with that sport. And around 2005 I came to the US and did a couple of half Ironman races and did really well. And then from basically 2006, when the 70.3 series popped up, was when I was like, okay, I want to win that 70.3 title. And in 2007 I was able to win that, and still didn't think we were ready to step up to the Ironman distance. I didn't want to go to Ironman and make up the numbers. I wanted to go there and be a competitor, and I waited till 2009 for that, and yeah, I mean, it's been a really amazing journey. I look back on it and I can't believe the steps I've made and how things have fallen into place. I mean, I think you're on the right track when doors open and things fall into place, and that's definitely the case when I look back on my career so far, and I'm just really excited to see what's next.
What's your race schedule for the rest of the year?
I've got Eagleman next weekend, so I'm heading up to do that one. I do two half Ironmans once a year, and Rev 3 and Eagleman's a good double for me to try and do. Always hurts, but it's a good way to get 2 halves done and then get back into training. And then I'm thinking about doing Minneapolis Olympic distance race, which is the weekend before Vineman. But my next definite race after Eagleman, will be Vineman. And then I'll race 4 weeks out from Kona. I was looking at doing Vegas 70.3 World Champs, but I'm not sure if I'll definitely do that yet. I kind of like the idea of a low-key race, getting ready for Kona, but I mean, also another world title's on the line at 70.3, so I need to figure out, weigh up what I'm going to do 4 weeks out from Kona for that tune-up, and then Kona, and then who cares after that?
Hi, my question is in regards to your nutrition, what your diet is during typical training, and then what your nutrition is during your races, like pre-race routine and during the race, and what type of nutrition you use.
I mean, just in general, I try to eat pretty clean foods. Obviously I try to eat organic meats, and I'm not a vegetarian or anything. I eat meat and chicken, and generally at night I'll have chicken and veggies or chicken and salad or something like that. I do love my ice cream, and I love my chocolate. I eat chocolate probably every day and ice cream nearly every day until 8 weeks out from Kona, and then things get a little bit more strict. But I mean, I love eggs. I eat eggs every day as well. I like the good, healthy fats. I think that it's more important to get those in than anything else. So I like my eggs and coconut oils. It's pretty standard diet. It's nothing that crazy in there. I'm not in any crazy diets. I eat what I feel like when I feel like it. I like a glass of wine with dinner sometimes. I try to be as normal as possible, even though what I do is not normal at all. So I try to be a normal person as much as possible, because we're not normal people. And in terms of race nutrition, generally the day before the race, I try to get my carbohydrates in more in my fluids, so electrolyte drinks and so forth, to get in the calories and not necessarily change up the amount of food I'm eating. I don't think you should have a massive meal the night before a race. I think you have similar sizes always. I like rice as opposed to pasta. I think pasta weighs you down, and it just doesn't sit well in my stomach anyway. So I've gone rice, chicken, have that the night before every race, and as I said, standard breakfast, toast or whatever, and then maybe a sandwich at lunch, and get my carbohydrates through my drinks, and then race morning I have either like I have choc chip muffin for breakfast and like a sports drink before a race. And then during the race, for a half Ironman, I don't really eat that much. I've done so many halves, and I think the more halves you do, the more efficient you become, so you don't need as much fuel. For me, I have one sports drink on the bike and Coke, and then maybe a gel if I feel like it. Sometimes I don't have the gel, and that's it on the bike. And then on the run I have my Goo Roctane in a gel flask, and I take that like every other aid station. I sip it going in, and then take water to wash it down, and that's all I need to get through a half. Obviously an Ironman's a lot different, and I've only done a couple, so I need to be a lot more aggressive with my intake throughout an Ironman, but it's really similar. I take just more sports drink. I still take my Coke in an Ironman, and I have like 6 or 7 gels and maybe a couple of fun-sized Snickers or Milky Ways or something like that on the bike. And then on the run I just have 2 gel flasks, and I sip those throughout the run, and also take on Coke as well. But yeah, that's sort of my general nutrition plan.
Is there any people that you avoid? Like, you're afraid that they're going to beat you?
Is there any people that I avoid? You know, I learned a long time ago that you're better off. I mean, I'm better off to plan. I plan my year out the year before. So I sit down with my coach after the season's over, and we look at the plan and look at which races make most sense in my training schedule and my lead into Kona. Obviously, everything's based around that race in October. So in terms of my rest blocks, my training blocks, and then I usually just put races at the end of my training blocks. So really there, when I need a rest from training, I put a race in. So no, I mean, you know, whoever turns up on the day, you know, I'll cop it on the chin if they beat me. But I mean, I'm a competitor, and I actually enjoy the challenge of racing with good athletes. I mean, when you turn up to a start line, and I mean, everybody's good, but you turn up to a start line and there's no headliners, or there's no athletes that maybe I'm a little bit worried about, then I kind of am not nervous. I'm not excited to race, and I get more excited when there's, I mean, on the weekend we had a great lineup. We had Julie Dibbins, we had Liz Blatchford, we had the Wasner girls, we had Mary Beth Ellis, a bunch of Angela Nath, the list goes on. And I was excited to race. I was excited to race those girls. And I mean, I think for me it's more of a test. How fast am I? How much? What do I have to improve on? What are the other girls doing? And yeah, that's sort of how I plan my year. I race, and if they turn up, then I guess I'm racing them.
Who do you feel is the toughest opponent you faced?
The toughest opponent that I've faced? Everybody's tough. I mean, obviously, I've raced Chrissy a couple of times. I've beaten her a couple of times. She's beaten me in Kona. Then she didn't turn up last year. Julie Dibbins is a tough competitor. I know that there's no way that girl will cross the finish line without giving her absolute, you know, everything. She'll never give up. She'll never slow down. She'll never say die. So she's definitely a tough one. Chrissy is obviously a, you know, tough competitor, and if, you know, she's never gonna say die either. So those two are probably the toughest competitors I've raced against. But there are always others. Katrina Morrison is a really tough athlete too, and a great athlete. That, as I said earlier, is a little overlooked, but she's amazing. I mean, yeah, everybody's tough. I mean, every race, nothing's a given. Anyone can come out of the woodwork, like Chrissy did a couple of years ago, and shake things up. So, yeah, I mean, everyone's tough.
What advice would you give to someone young starting triathlons?
So how many triathlons have you done?
About like 3 or 4.
Done 3 or 4? Awesome. Well, good for you. I mean, I don't think I could have done a triathlon at your age. So you're already well ahead of me. But I mean, the best advice I can give the younger athletes coming into the sport is to just enjoy it and to do other things. I mean, triathlon, it's a great sport, but I think you can burn out on it pretty easily. So I think it's important to do, you know, team sports, enjoy your school sports, and then do triathlon, but don't let it consume you. I think that's a mistake that could be made, and I'd hate to see you burn out before you actually get to, you know, race the longer distances, race the half Ironmans, race the Ironmans when you're older and maybe at your peak. So, yeah, just enjoy the races that you do, and make sure you do some other things as well.